just hit new highs today. Nano Genomics is nearly up 200% this year alone. So let's clap. Let's celebrate. I don't know why I'm making that noise. Let's just clap instead. What's going on, traders? Welcome to the channel. My name's John. That's Groot the Plant. We trade options here. Bngo is up big, and the biggest question is, we got a few things to cover. There's the rumor mill abound. Lots to think about, lots to consider. Maybe it means I change my position or add to it in this way. Number 2 is going to be earnings. Earnings coming up here, actually March 4th. So that's going to be after the bell. We're about 3 weeks out, I believe. And let's see, who knows? I'm going to tell you what I want to see, at least as an investor myself. Number 3, I'm going to showcase the positions. Going to show you where I'm at. As a disclosure, I do own shares and calls in this stock. So I want to show you where those are at, what my plans are to do with that, and should I add or subtract from that position. So let's jump in. Okay, it's time to talk rumor mill time. There is a lot to consider. So the biggest one I'd say that I'm most interested in is ARK Invest, Cathie Wood, ARKG, any of that. These guys are amazing. So I like that they're not all, financial MBA bank analyst type people. Every single one of these are kind of diverse in terms of their analysts. They all have PhDs and really strong understandings in the fields that they're studying, whether it's cryptocurrency, genomics space, that type of thing. But there is a rumor mill abound that ARK could be considering investing in this stock and adding it to their portfolio. If that's the case, that is huge. That's amazing. I would like that very much. But what has happened is ARK did ask Bngo if they want to come on the podcast. I don't know. I don't know the answer. But if that is the case, you can definitely believe that they've been doing some backdoor talking, maybe to try and verify, see where the future is of the company. And that could also help add to the narrative of whether ARK decides to add exposure to Bngo or not. Okay, next, could there be a buyout, an acquisition? I'd say that's more of a moonshot for now, but there are a lot of things that are coming in place that could add to that, and maybe that does become a reality at some point in the future. The biggest thing I'd say is that Bngo had a webcast conference basically for their products and their customers in January, and they basically had a lot of their customers and some of their team do presentations where they talked about the business, the services, and why it's beneficial to them. And that was really powerful, I think, by getting that getting to know what each person enjoyed or how they used it on their team, how these researchers would use and leverage the product too. That's really powerful. There's another one here. Let's jump into the platform. And you can see here that they're going to present actually in February again. So there's another presentation coming up, and that's going to be at the Digital Health Life Sciences Diagnostics Tools Conference. And that presentation will be scheduled for Thursday, February 18th, which is a week away. So that's going to be great. And you can actually look at this on their investor relations website. That should be on for about 30 days, it says. So that's going to be key for me because I'd like to know more about what they plan to do with their products and services. They've started expanding out, into services. And I think the key thing I like to always talk about is it's kind of like the Amazon effect, right? As a business, you're faced with a lot of decisions. And sometimes there's right and wrong decisions, but realistically, the way Amazon thinks about this is if your decision is to benefit the customer, then you're making the right decision. And it seems like Bngo has started moving in this direction by starting to provide services and opening, kind of access in a way, making it simpler, easier to use, and leveraging that to their business instead of walling off everything, hiding behind so many patents and walls, that this kind of helps a lot more as you start to democratize the industry. And I think these guys could be a big part of that in the future. So something to look at and consider. Now let's talk about also what to expect. So earnings are coming up soon, March 4th after the bell. a couple weeks away here. What I want to see as they start to announce their earnings is going to be customers. How are you leveraging your new products, your new services, and how is that working out with your customers? Are you coming up with solutions that kind of fit everyone's needs? Are you guys growing? And more importantly, what are your plans for the year? How do you see the business? What do you see as beneficial? And what are we going to do with that? Okay, so that's going to be really key, really powerful for Bngo and for anyone who's a shareholder there. So keep your eyes peeled. Really quick before we get into the positions, none of this would be possible without trading options for income, which is the main premise and strategy of what Plant, Groot, and I like to do here. So to really give you a quick overview on that, we trade options for basically a weekly or monthly income and use that to grow that snowball into more and more income. But you segment some of that out for riskier but potential high return plays. The other part, you segment some of that for more safer bets that are kind of longer term, 20, 10-year, less volatile type of plays. So if you like that, definitely subscribe. Groot and I like to drop this content on you multiple times a week, and it's really good education to maybe see how you can implement that in your own strategies. Basically, in Bngo, I own some calls. I have $6 calls and $5 calls. I got 2 of the 5, 1 of the 6, and they're doing pretty well. These don't expire until August this year, so I've got some runway for sure, and that is something that I'm excited about. I think these will hopefully appreciate throughout the time, but I have lots of optionality. If I want to sell one of those calls and it kind of funds everything, I now have risk-free calls that I can just let ride out, see where they go, or I can exercise them and collect 300 shares in Bngo. Next, I do have 200 shares here in Bngo, and I'm gonna, I think, let these ride out too because I like where we're at. The possibility I'm considering would be to sell some covered calls against this to collect some income, but I don't plan to expose the whole position to that. It would maybe be a small percentage, like 100 or 200 shares in covered call, and then I let the rest explode if it decides to go higher. Next, in Tastyworks, I do have shares too. I bought 250 shares and they're doing okay. And same plan here in these 250 shares. I don't think I'm going to do anything with those for now. I'd like to see where we go with the earnings announcement, maybe with next week's presentation. If there's anything I can find that seems to lead to like really bullish or bearish signs, then I'll take either profits or open up more positions based on that. So something to look at there. If you are someone who is coming in not having a position here, I really say look at your risk and try and consider that. That's really important here, because if you're just seeing it go up higher and you get the FOMO hands and you want to just put everything into it, well, what if this thing drops 30, 40, 50% tomorrow? That'd be kind of tough, especially with no news. We don't really know what is going on, why Bngo is up so high today, up nearly 20%. Give or take. I'm not promoting that people buy this stock, but I am promoting that you do your research and see if there's something that fits. And then in terms of, say, trading or investing in it, maybe you could start with a small position now and then wait until you get better news or more news that builds confidence. And then that might be a good time to consider adding to the position. All right, I hope that was helpful. I'm curious, do you own any Bngo? If so, what are your thoughts? Are you planning on buying more? Do you have enough shares already? How many shares do you have, or are you trading options? So let me know in the comments below. Thank you. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.